What is going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you tonight with an episode of the Foul Out, a live baseball show. I have not done this or off the court in a while. Off the court being my basketball show live stream. It originally started out. I did off the court Tuesdays and Thursdays. I did baseball on Mondays, MLB Mondays or whatever. But I was just thinking, and I said, I haven't done the Foul Out in a while. I haven't done baseball in a while. I haven't done basketball in a while. Why? Because there's no sports. Because there's nothing to talk about. But dang it, I figured I would come on here and just say, give us some baseball, people. Give us some sports. Quit hiding from this pandemic. And I also figured, why not do some baseball Q&A? If you guys are baseball fans, you want to tune in tonight, ask some baseball questions, feel free to. Ask away, I guess. And so I've heard some stuff, potential return in the fall or whatever. If they get a chance, they will return. Baseball season would come back in a shortened season, right? I've seen where they would play like 50 or 60 games, and that's about it, just to stay on track. It looks like they probably won't even get one game in, because this whole virus is just coming and going. Oh, it's gonna go away. It'll be gone. Then a second wave's gonna come in the fall. What are you gonna do then? What's baseball gonna look like? Who would have won the World Series this year? What would it look like right now? Well, we're not anywhere near the postseason. If anything, when did the regular season supposed to? What was that? That was one of the last ones I did, was like an opening day special back in March when we were supposed to have opening day. We're way more than halfway through the season, because it goes, you have the preseason, or as they call it, spring training, in February, and then of course late March, early April, you start the actual season, right? And that goes, and I see how they split it up. The first half of the season, take a couple weeks off. Second half of the season, I think, is what I've seen. You just play the games. Postseason starts October, maybe late September or whatever. I think World Series Game 7 between the Astros and the Nationals last year was played, let me check this. There we go. Was played October 30th, like right before Halloween. Normally when you play it. Well, it's not going to be played at all this year because of this pandemic. I say you give us some baseball, people. Seriously, give us some baseball. It's... This is cool. I'm still trying to figure this new app out, but give us seriously. If you give us baseball, make baseball fans happy, because this is getting out of hand. Over a virus. Now, I get this pandemic has just been there, right? It's been there. It's been killing everything. No sports, can't go anywhere. We're slowly getting back to normal life. Now the second wave's coming earlier than ever, than it was supposed to. Baseball should be halfway through the season right now. It's not. Basketball should be over with. It's not. Spring games should have been played. They weren't for college football. NFL training camps should have happened. They didn't. Nothing happened. But for baseball, I don't know who would have won the World Series. I'm curious who would have won the World Series this year. You know, it's possible that it does start back up, but when? When? When's it going to start back up, people? They had the MLB draft. What about these rookies? They could have played this year. They might not get a chance to until next year in 2021. Spring training then. Who would you give a title to? Who would you give a title to? For the World Series, who would have won it if you simulate the season? Nationals could have repeated. They got a lot of great talent. Strasburg and who are some other guys? I'll have to double check and look. I don't know. I haven't really been keeping much track. You know, all the players and everything. But I mean, it's just getting out of hand. I miss baseball. I miss all sports. Football season, you know. You see the news. 33-5 vote between the MLB Players Association. The offer was a 60-game season. Regular season. You play 60 games. Obviously, you take the teams of the divisions. You put them all together for the playoffs. Expanded playoffs. Let me read this news. The owners voted to proceed with 2020 season under March agreement. Let's see. The So this was made back in March, and they just got around to trying to, determine this agreement or this proposal. Let's see. Owners vote now. Allows Commissioner Rob Manfred to implement a schedule of his choosing, likely between 50 and 60 games. Let's see. In a statement, the league asked the Players Association provide 2 pieces of information by 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday. Today being Monday, so 5 p.m. tomorrow Eastern Time in like Florida and Georgia and all that. The first being whether players will be able to report to training in their respective cities within 7 days by July 1st. The second is whether the union will agree on the operating manual, which contains the health and safety protocols necessary to give us the best opportunity to conduct and complete our regular season and postseason. So there's an agreement, or they're trying to have an agreement. There's a proposal to get the season back on track. They want to have, again, at least a 50-60 game season. Not a whole lot, right? I'm curious how they would do that. Is that in total? Is that per team? Does every team? I guess that's in total for the league. You'd have to probably split that up, though, between all the teams. You'd have to divide that. I'm not doing all that math at the moment. Let's see. After MLB rejected a 70-game proposal from the MLBPA, the Players Association, the league told the union that a negotiated agreement would follow the 60-game framework, which included expanded playoffs and a universal designated hitter. That's where I'm getting all this. So there's been some talk about a season. There's been some proposals and talk. Well, we could have a 60-game season. We can start here, and we can go, and we can finish in the fall like we normally would. We should have a baseball season, but we're not going to. Let them play, even though this virus is going around. Let them play. But they won't. I'm sorry. It's fine. I just... baseball season is probably not going to happen. Just wait until the spring. Forget about 2020. That's probably what they'll do. Because at this point, you're looking at it and you're saying, we should have already started back up. Basketball and everything was supposed to start back on June 1st or June 8th or whatever, where college football teams were going to start practice and everything, get ready for the fall. Whether you buy into this virus or not, it's seriously getting out of hand. The Astros, the Yankees, all these teams that were playoff favorites won't get a chance to play in the postseason because we won't have a regular season because of this virus. Now, I think we need to do what's best for the players, the coaches, and everything with social distancing and all that. But what are you going to do to make up for the 2020 season? Just going to leave it empty like that? Something's got to happen, I think. Really not a whole lot of baseball news, I guess, other than just start it back up at some point, Get it going. We cannot be afraid to take risks, I don't think, right? Trying to see something here. So, Rob Manfred, the commissioner, has created this 60-game season for 2020 after the Players Association failed to reach a deal or communicate or, come to an agreement. The owners of these teams have voted to go along with the 2020 season under an agreement made back in March. This was just reported tonight, a couple hours ago. And again, I was just reading. And again, that the Players Association provide 2 pieces of information by 5 p.m. Tuesday. The first being whether players will be able to report to training in their respective cities within 7 days by July 1st. The second is operating on necessary regular season and postseason. So like all the teams, you gotta look at the coaches, the managers, the owners. They all have to come to agreement on this. What happens if you have all of the teams in the league say, I'm down for it, I'm in? Except for, let's say, I don't know, the Reds or the Pirates or the Yankees or whoever, 3 or 2 or 3 different teams that say, I'm not doing this. It's not one of those things you could just go along with the majority, is it? I think all the teams, all the players, all the coaches, all have to come together for whatever proposal there is for a season. Will we see baseball in 2020? It's not looking like it. It's not. So, I don't know. There is some news in baseball, believe it or not. There's some news in basketball too. Not a whole lot of stuff now. And I'll try to get back to doing some off the court if I can. If we do get the basketball season to return, because there's talk at least about the NBA. I'm curious who would have, if you had simulated the men's basketball postseason. I thought about doing a video where I simulated that or whatever, but it would have taken too long because it just would have taken too long, I guess. To not only simulate every single game, but what's up, Landon McKenzie? Sup, Ballard? Love your videos. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thanks for showing up tonight. You like baseball? Talking some baseball. Wishing we had some. I mean, the best thing we got right now is like Sports Center and all that, but I'm not really against the proposal about like a 60 game, a shortened season and everything like that. I just want something from baseball. Something, please. Give us some baseball, whatever it is. It just it just gets out of hand. I mean, make up your mind what you want to do. I don't care what it is. I don't care how many games. If we could just get a little bit, one baseball game, at this point, I think is what all of us baseball fans are asking for, because it's been too long. Because of this virus, because of this pandemic, because of this freak out, whatever you want to call it. I mean, so I think it will at some point happen. It will at some point come back. The question is when. And if they say we're going to finish up spring training and not go into the regular season because, like, could you imagine them coming out? Call it July. Well, I don't know. We still got a week or so, but if they said, well, we never finished spring training, even though we were so close to the beginning of the season, should have started March 26th, blah, blah, blah. We still had a couple more spring training games. We got to finish that first. It's summer. Don't do that. Not saying anyone said that, but could you imagine if Rob Manfred came out and said, yep, we're going to pick up where we left off with spring training here in the hot summer heat. In the summer, we're going to have our spring training games. He probably doesn't sound like that, but anyway. I just think at some point, you got to pick baseball back up. You got to pick football up in the fall. You got to pick up basketball. Golf, somewhat returned. I don't know where the stance on that is. I'm trying to get into as much sports as possible and, trying to get into college baseball as well. But we're talking some MLB tonight at least. I'm still trying to slowly get into like college baseball because, trying to be a sportscaster. I can't just pick and choose sports willy-nilly, I got to try to get into as much as possible. So I'm trying to get into other sports a little bit. So, but So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? Will we get a baseball season in 2020? Probably not. We might not even see baseball until March of 2021 when this whole virus and everything is gone. We might not see any baseball until then. We might not see basketball until maybe next November. Maybe we don't even start a new season this year. I don't know what's going to happen. But because of this virus, everything in sports... Now, thankfully, we finished football. We got that. It's possible that we might not get a football season in the fall. I would like to hope that we get one. Most likely we get one. And I say most likely we get one because, come on. When they canceled all this, it was a last minute panic, is what this was. Fair? I think so. And they never picked it back up because it did start to get worse and worse and worse. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know. Second wave of COVID is supposed to come in the fall. It's left over from what didn't get anybody or whatever in the summer and the spring and all that. So I don't know what's going to happen with baseball. They might not pick this season up. We might not get any until February or March. I think spring training technically starts late February, if I'm not mistaken. Have it for a month, and then, of course, late March, have the regular season start. We might not see baseball until then. Until then, all of us baseball fans can go on YouTube or whatever, watch old replays, play with our baseball cards, throw a baseball around in the backyard. Which, by the way, I want to get a baseball glove. I haven't had one in a while since I played a few years back when I was younger. Played on a local Little League team with my brother and all that. Love throwing the ball around, man. But, we won't be watching live baseball this year. At least that's what we're told. That's what we're speculating. If the Lord allows it, I guess this whole thing goes away. Maybe we pick it up. But, being realistic, with how things are right now, though, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Because it's just getting crazy out there, I guess. But give us some baseball at some point, people. Quit hiding. Give us some baseball. We've been sitting here, us baseball fans, wondering, when's it going to come back? When's it going to come back? What would the records be? The best thing we got was the MLB draft, thankfully. It was pretty cool to see some guys get drafted. I think Alabama baseball player got drafted by the Royals in the first round. I have to double check and look. I watched some of it last 2 weeks ago, whenever. I can look at it real quick. Let's see. Who did the Rays get? First round. I'll go through at least the first round. Tigers took this Spencer Torkelson, third baseman out of Arizona State. Baltimore Orioles took an outfielder from Arkansas, Heston Kjerstad. I don't know how you say it. Kjerstad. Max Meyer, 3rd overall to the Marlins, a pitcher from Minnesota. Asia Lacey for the Royals, a pitcher from A&M. Austin Martin, Toronto Blue Jays, took a shortstop from Vandy. Emerson Hancock to the Mariners, a pitcher from Georgia. I could go down the list. Who did the Rays take here? Nick Bitsko, a pitcher from Central Bucks High School East. You can be a high school player and get drafted. Aleka Williams, a trade to the Rays. Or the Rays traded to get him. Arizona State shortstop. That was in the 1st round. I could go down the list. My phone's crap. It's about to die. I don't know. But go look at the draft. We at least had that. That's something, I think. But I don't know. It's we got to get baseball season at some point. It's just getting crazy. Hopefully this pandemic can end soon, and we can get back to everyday life, and we can get sports back. But if you do have a baseball season and start it up soon, it's going to be short. It's going to not be too long, and it's not going to be what you expect. It's not going to be every game. Playoffs will be different, I think. And the question is also, when do you start it? I don't know. But anyway, I don't really have much else. I appreciate someone, Landon McKenzie, showing up in the chat tonight. Thank you so much, sir or ma'am. I don't know. Said you love my videos. I haven't seen you anywhere. But I appreciate it for showing up. I haven't seen you comment or anything, but doesn't mean you don't watch. But anyway, my phone's about to die. I should probably charge it up, but really don't have a whole lot. I figured I'd get back to doing this. More off the court to come soon to talk basketball, NBA, college basketball, some more of the foul out to talk MLB. I'm going to try my best to get into college baseball because that leads into the MLB. You know, college players, and baseball is baseball. I'm sure it's the same, although we normally focus on the pro league, don't we? Anyway, that's pretty much it for me tonight. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this, hit the like. Let me know what your thoughts are. Feel free to comment on the video. If you missed the live stream, go back and watch some of it. All of it, whatever you missed. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching and tuning in tonight. Really do appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time. Until then, Ballard Sports Media, checking out. Y'all have a good one. Give us some baseball. Yeah, we're not getting